Today's daily recap for BTG Beyond the Gates is for Monday, October the 27th, 2025. Well, this was kind of cute, y'all. Nathan meets up with Samantha at Orphe Jeans. And this guy, isn't it funny? You could tell this type just from even at his age. He said, "Ooh, those pictures you posted, oh, they all look hot. And are there any that you have that you didn't post?" And she goes, "Well, yeah." He goes, "Can I see them?" So June is like, "Wait, what's going on here? Samantha, you seem to be doing everything this boy wants you to do, right?" He goes, "Ooh, I like that one. Ooh, this one is hot." And so she's looking, "You think so? Yeah, okay. Now this one here, do you ever get to keep the clothes?" And she's like, "Sometimes." And June keeps buzzing around so she could hear. And so he goes, "Ooh, man." And so she comes up, "Can I take your order?" He goes, "No." And so Samantha says, "I'll have whatever she says she's gonna have." And then he looked at June and says, "Are you sure you don't want anything? You've been sitting here long enough, right?" And he goes, "I'll have a milkshake." So she goes off. And he goes, "Man, what's up with her? She's kind of waitress at sea." She goes, "She's new here. She's new. Give her some slack." So they're talking. He goes, "Oh, I like this outfit. I want you to wear it so I could take it off you." Now, before he made that comment, Samantha was saying, you know, how he ghosted her. "You ghosted me." And he goes, "I didn't ghost you." She goes, "Yeah. Every time I text you or you never answered back." And he goes, "I was on punishment. My parents had my phone." Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody. They both go to the same high school. He made sure he was ghosting her because he made sure he didn't see her so he wouldn't have to speak to her. Yeah, right. So she goes, "Oh, okay." And then that's when he's talking about, he switched the subject. And when he said, "My parents had my phone," June was like, "I know she ain't believing that." Right? So anyway, when he got to the statement of, "Ooh, wear this one." Oh, she said, "I thought you were ghosting me because I didn't want to, I wasn't down for," I forget the word she used for it. He goes, "No, no. That's not it." He goes, "You think I'm the kind of guy that's the only thing I want?" And she goes, "So you're not upset that I wasn't down for it?" She goes, "No, no." "Oh, okay." And then he was saying, "Oh, I was on punishment," some lie, right? But yet he turns right back around and says, "I want you to wait." Now look, when you if you can you send your pictures out? If you can't, send me this one. And don't send it to anybody else. I want this to be our little secret. A secret just between us. And then he's like, "Oh, I like this outfit because I want to take it off." And June, so she goes, "Oh," and they go in to kiss. June puts her hand between them with the milkshake. Boom. "Here's your milkshake." And they, come back from each other, move away from each other because she's putting this milkshake between them. June sits it on the table, knocks it over on him. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Why, what? I'm so sorry. I've got such butter fingers." And he jumps up. "What? What the?" She goes, "You better get on in the bathroom and wipe yourself off so you could cool yourself down." He goes off, and Samantha looks at her and says, "You did that on purpose." And June looked at her and said, "I know you are not believing this guy, Samantha." "What do you mean?" You know what ghosting is. And that's exactly what he was doing to you. He says he was on punishment and his parents had his phone. She said, please. He's the kind of guy that has a secret phone. She says, what are you talking about? She goes, Samantha, I am not stupid. I sit here and I see these teenagers after school all day long. They get in here, they take the cell phone their parents think they have, they put it in their backpack and they pull out some other phone that they doing all they texting and all they whatever they doing. She says, and that one there, oh, he's definitely got another phone. Well, she goes, tell me, Samantha, you're not believing what this guy is saying. You're not falling for him. I do. I believe him. June was like, oh my God. Oh my, what? You know, June is deaf on her, right? She goes, and now look, you spilt that milkshake on him and he's gone. He left. She goes, good. He need to leave. So, oh, I can't wait because I did see scenes where I guess tomorrow she gonna allegedly supposed to study in her house, and Smitty and Martin walk in on the two of them kissing and she leaned he's all over her, and they're like Samantha Smith Richardson, and she just she hasn't learned. She had okay. I see what's happening, and I hope not. We do not need a teenage pregnancy storyline. We don't need one. Sincerely, everybody. But I really think the way they'll go with it is he's going to get her to take some semi-nude pictures of herself and send it to him for their little secret. And he's going to post those pictures all over social media. And what's going to happen? Chelsea and Kat are going to have to drop her as the teen spokesmodel because it's going to tarnish the brand if they keep her. So she's going to let this stupid boy mess her up big time. I'd rather see it go that way than a teenage pregnancy story. And now we have Haley. Um, Leslie's at the club, because where she lives, she ain't got nothing else to do. She's sitting up there. And Danny was waiting for Nicole. Nicole walks in. They sit down talking, and she goes, don't look, but your nemesis is over there. So they both turn and they look at Leslie, and she's just looking at Nicole. Right? Now, guess what? She didn't approach today. She calls Eva and says, look, drop whatever you're doing and meet me at the club for lunch. And Eva says, I already just ordered my lunch at Uptown. And she's like, come anyway. And so just as Eva looks and Isaiah comes walking in, she goes, nope, I got something hot going on right here. And she says, talk to you later. And she hangs up on her mother. So they're having their little chemistry conversation. And his interview at Banneker went well. And they offered him a position, but he's going to think about it. And she goes, wait, all this has got to think about the great offer? He goes, yeah, I've got to weigh some things. And he was honest with her. He says, she goes, okay, weigh some things. How? Are you worried about family moving back here and seeing family all the time? He goes, yeah, that's part of it. But she goes, uh-oh, it's somebody else. And he goes, yeah, back where in California, he was in a relationship that was failing or failed, and he was looking for something different, for an out. And that's when he saw the posting for Banneker. He says, but now I truly have to stop and think, do I want to walk away from the relationship? He said her name too. Was it Yvonne? I forget. Who cares? She ain't even on the show yet. Am I going to walk away from the relationship, or, was this just a knee-jerk reaction, me coming out here? So she goes, I understand that. She says, I'm not interested though, just to let you know, and to be in somebody's rebound. Been there, done, nope, been there, done that. And I'm not going to get burnt again. And he goes, oh, sounds like there's a story there. She goes, yeah. His name was Tomas. And he couldn't make up his mind. Well, he ended up going back with his ex. She says, and that kind of hurt. I'm not going to do that again. He says, okay. He says, well, good. He says, because I'm down for spending time with a good person, seeing some of these sights, and just enjoying each other's company as friends. If you are, she says, yes, I am. She said, and let me get your number. Right? So she takes her phone and he airdrops it to her. And she gets it and she goes, oh, Isaiah. And I'm thinking, you know what? They hadn't exchanged names, right? Hmm. Just as the phone is exchanging numbers, guess who comes in? Cat. She has to walk right up to him and say, oh, you stay away from that. The typical Cat talking down and bad about Eva. And he goes, what? She goes, oh no. Don't let her get her hooks into you. She just was being Cat, right? And Eva's just looking at her. So Eva says, you know what, Isaiah? It's nice meeting you. And, you know, hopefully everything goes great with you, but I'm going to take off. And Kat's like, yeah, she needs to blah, blah, blah. And he goes, wait, wait. But what about your food? She says, you know what? You can have it. If you want, you can share it with my sister. And Kat kind of looks like, and he goes, wait, wait, your sister? And he looks at Kat and she goes, it's a long story. And I'll be happy to fill you in on all the gory details. Because Eva says, I didn't know you two knew each other. And Kat goes, yeah, we do. Well, come on, that's Jacob's younger brother. So yeah, I'm sure. And when the mother and father, when Elon and the wife and the whole families would get together, they know each other, right? So anyway, Kat ends up telling him all her version of the dirty details and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, wow, okay, okay. So she goes, so he says, what, I guess you're going to tell me to just stay away from her. And Kat says, you know what, Isaiah, you've been around, just not around here in a while, but you've been around. I just gave you the scoop on Eva. What you do with the information is on you, right? And he looked at Kat, he goes, I'm sure I could handle Eva. She goes, yeah, that's what they all think until she needs somebody. She's got boxes she needs moved. She's a reader. And she happens to read the same novels as you. And she happens to have books. She goes, a girl like that don't read. She goes, who reads these days? And he looked at Kat. she goes, well, I mean, yeah, I read and you read, right? My grandparents read, but somebody like her, she don't read. And he just kind of looked at Kat like, how could you assume that, right? Because it was obvious she was reading more than Tomas because he was taking her books that she finished, right? She was almost spoiling the plots for him. So anyway, he just said, I can handle her. She goes, you do what you want. And when she said, that's what Tomas thought, and he heard the name Tomas, and remember, Eva said Tomas was the one that broke her heart, and went back to his ex, and he's like, ooh. But he didn't let Kat know, right? But he's thinking, oh, this is messy. Those two are a hot mess, these sisters. So anyway, we'll see where that goes. Because trust me, Kat says, I told you the information, you're gonna have to make up your own mind. Every time she see him, she's gonna try to tell him what to do, where Eva's concerned. And it gets very old. Just like it gets old with Leslie trying to humiliate Nicole, it gets old with Kat trying to humiliate Eva. But here's the thing. Eva only retreats when she wants to retreat because we have absolutely seen Eva go DEF CON Leslie 1 on Kat. And Kat, all she could do is stand there, right? Well, Eva, Leslie, she comes home and Leslie's in her house again. She goes, I left the jacket here. I hope you don't mind. And she just looked at her mother. She goes, okay, what's wrong with you? And she told her what happened. And she goes, and what did you do about it? She goes, I turned and I left. She goes, girl, when are you going to learn to stop walking away and leaving with your tail tucked behind between your legs? You got to fight. And she goes, if I taught you anything, you fight for what's yours. Well, here's the thing. Isaiah's not hers. Isaiah already told her he still don't know if a relationship with his chick back west is over. So what is there for me to fight over? Period. The only thing I would have done is looked at Isaiah and said, oh, I'm sorry, Isaiah. I didn't know you were meeting Kat here. Were you meeting her? Because he wasn't. And he'd say, no. She'd say, oh, well, then you know what, Kat? Since I'm talking to him right now, you need to kick rocks, right? You need to kick rocks right now. Period. Because, Kat, you really don't want me to start talking about your personal business with this gentleman here. So kick rocks. And you know what Kat would do? She'd kick rocks. She don't want Isaiah to know she was having problems with her sexuality and having sex. Nope. She'd kick rocks. And then I would continue my conversation with him and leave when we decided we were going to leave. Now, Bill made fun of Tomas. He was poking a little fun at Tomas and Kat because Tomas couldn't even pick something up that fell over on the floor. He was walking all stiff. He and Bill recognized what was happening right off and was just teasing him. And Kat took off out of there because she brought lunch for two. And by the time Bill was teasing them so bad, she just took off. That was kind of funny. Let's see. I think that was about it. Haley came to the club. She stops by Danny and Nicole's table and said, Nicole, I want to offer my condolences or whatever she said. She said, why? And she goes, oh, for your divorce, of course. Bill told me. And Nicole just looked at her and said, "You're trying to tell me you care about me getting divorced?" And Danny said, "Go away, Haley, because I didn't invite you over here and you don't want me to create a scene, right?" So Haley, she goes and she sits down now. Leslie was watching. So she's sitting across from Leslie, a different table, right? And Leslie says, "Hey, new Mrs. Hamilton, you know, uh, we could help each other." She goes, "Why, I don't know what you mean." And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "You got this little kind of church mouse-ish persona going on. This little good girl thing." She goes, "I already know you up to something." "I know. That's a facade. That ain't you." She said, "I could see right through you." She goes, "You don't know what you talking about." She goes, "Yeah. Neither one of us belong behind these gates, but here we are. But I got the plans. I can help you with whatever you got going on, because it is something." And she goes, "No, lady, I don't need your kind of help. And I don't know what you're talking about." She goes, "You are married to that Bill Hamilton?" She says, "Oh, I know you got to have something else going on because he is an all." She was talking about this. She goes, "Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa." Haley says, "Don't talk about my husband like that at all. Because my husband and I, our marriage is just fine. Thank you. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to stay here and talk to you." So Haley gets up and she walks out. And Leslie's like, "Yeah, that's what you saying." And I'm like, "Yeah, take one to know one, doesn't it? Takes one to know one." But Haley knows she cannot get close to Leslie or let Leslie think she could get close to her because she can't have her plans messed up. Her plans for Bill. She can't let anybody know that she's anything other than the happy wife, right? So anyway, let's go to Comment Corner, because that was it for today for BTG, Beyond the Gates. Let's see, I'm just going to go 5 minutes on Comment Corner here. And we have Katrina says, "Well, I can't wait to see Ted. Um, he's going to get into it with Carlton." I was like, wow, and OMG when I saw the clip. Yeah, they did show that on the clip. Cleo says, "I hope Donnell walks in on them. Doug ain't even gone 2 days yet. That Hawthorne reunion was lackluster." Yes, it was, but those are brothers. Older brother, younger. Yeah, we never know how close they were. And from the way the younger brother talked, they wasn't that close. I wonder if Naomi is gonna get with Isaiah now. Um, she was more happy to see him than her husband. Nope, she's drunk. And she was acting like, look, I was watching her. She was acting like she didn't even know him until they came out. I'm like, well, that's a stranger. Sandra says, "How true about Naomi and Jacob. I am over the baby thing. I wonder why Jacob didn't notice someone watching him being in law enforcement." That's exactly what I said. "Please don't let another divorce with the Dupree family. That would be heartbreaking. Yes, Naomi and Jacob need to see uh, Aunt Nicole." Nope, see anybody but Aunt Nicole. Vanessa is a crazy woman. She only thinks about herself, no matter herself. No one matters but Vanessa and Joey in her mind. Writers, please bring something more than sad endings to these families. Danny and Nicole are Vanessa's best friends, but they don't have an idea of who Nicole is, and taking Joey to her house that she shared with Doug, and Doug hasn't been gone 1 month. That's a crazy thing. Yep, that is so true. I'm telling you, people see in that car in that garage. All right. And then I'm going to skip on down. Cynthia says, Vanessa pulled that guilt trip on Donnell, didn't she? Lucy said, there's something about Isaiah Hawthorne. He doesn't seem trustworthy. I wouldn't be surprised if he and his brother Jacob's, and he and his brother Jacob's wife, Naomi Bond. No, I'm not going to see that. I don't see that. Um, Cece says, I'm sick of Naomi too. She's being mean and spiteful to Jacob. This baby issue is going to be the end of their relationship. And then Cleveland says, I agree. And maybe deep down, she just doesn't want to have a child with Jacob. In my opinion, his character is basically a good guy, Boy Scout type. He has no backbone when it comes to Naomi, and he lets it be known how she really, and she lets it be known how she really feels when she starts drinking the truth serum. When you publicly abase someone, or is that abuse someone, you don't respect them, or is that debase someone? Um, it was her fault that she had a pregnancy scare in the first place. And if she was hell bent on no children, she would have had her tubes tied and set and shut it down in the story. That is true. I'm surprised because, yeah, they both were in that agreement. So get your tubes tied. Then that way he knows, we agreed my wife can't have a child. We're not going to. Uh, HSM says, hope so. And then we have, excuse me, I'm getting a sore throat, y'all. Black Purple, and I hate that because, it could mean something. Black Purple Turquoise says, Naomi is doing too much at Uptown when her, Ashley, Jacob, and Derek were all having drinks together. I think she's either tipsy or moderately drunk right at the end of the episode there. And just when went on a rant about how basically she now feels they're incompatible because he discovered what they discovered with the pregnancy scare that he actually does want to be a dad one day. Naomi, on the other hand, is firm, hard no on that and does not want to move forward with want to move forward or want to become a mother. She's content in simply being a wife and having her law career. I get where each other's coming from. They have a right without question to change their opinions and stand on business and their beliefs in individuals. But I hate to think this will end their marriage. I really hope I really enjoy them together. Thanks, Miss Daily Recap Lady. Yeah, I know. I'd hate to see that. That's like every marriage they're making break up. I don't like that at all. Po Boop says, yeah, she was a little too much. Her constant nagging and going to the end of is going to be the end of them. She was really rude, not fond of her behavior today. Watch, he'll end up running into another woman's arms. Well, look, him and Kat was spending so much time together. I hope it won't be her. And then Black Purple Turquoise says, agreed. I get Naomi. Naomi's upset at all of that, but that's not on soon to be. Thought I wait. I doubt their marriage will actually happen. What do you mean, actually? Soon to be, the marriage will actually happen. Mr. and Mrs. Vanilla Snooze Fest. That's funny. I feel like she needed to check herself this episode, and her whole demeanor was uncalled for and unneeded. Yes, it was. Um, Now, I'm not just praying she doesn't cheat on Jacob with his brother. If they go that route, then I'll just have to assume we've been watching General Hospital and are pulling a whole Willow Drew bit and trying to do now Naomi and Isaiah. No, no. I don't even see Isaiah, his personality is not that. She liked the fact that Jacob was in law enforcement. She was an attorney, the whole nine yards. We'll see though. But I personally sure hope that is not the route they're going to have to go down. I don't want to see that either. Pobu 8 JSH says to Pobu, I hope so. Jacob deserves better than Naomi. Jacob deserves more respect than she's giving him right now. She wanted all this space and time to figure out her feelings, yet she's not letting him soothe his own feelings. So that's on her. Yeah, and this is what Pobu said. She got on my nerves this week with all that whining. Me too. All right, everybody, that's Comic Corner. That is it for Comic Corner. I'll be back tomorrow with another daily recap of BTG Beyond the Gates.